Hey everybody, this is KennedyHawk from the MCM team. I have a special guest with me today. Who are you, sir?
I'm now and forever Addercop.
Ah, you are Addercop of the famous Marvel Champions Monthly crew. Awesome. You're here today, and we're going to continue the Hero Primer series, going over all the heroes and Marvel Champions. We're going to give ourselves a little more than 10 minutes since we have a special guest today. I like to have special
Nice.
guests as often as we can, so I want to encourage it by giving them 5 extra minutes to talk. So, we're going to get underway, going over everything Captain America, and I'm sure you're really excited about that, right?
I am really excited about it. I'm
Okay.
like super excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, here we go. The timer is a clicking. So, identity cards for Steve Rogers, Captain America. Steve Rogers has the Living Legend ability, which reduces the cost of the first ally played each round by 1, and a setup ability to go get his shield. Pretty good. Hand size of 6, hit points of 11, and a recovery of 3. On his Captain America side, his hero side, he's got the best stat line ever, pretty much, of 222. Anytime someone has that, they're doing great. Avenger and Soldier traits with the ability I can do this all day. Action. Discard 1 card from your hand to ready Captain America. 5 hand size, 11 hit points still. So what do you think? Good? Bad?
He's got the hand size you'd expect on both sides. Perfect. He's got a above average hit points, and his stats are also above average at 222. He's good at literally everything, and that's kind of what you'd expect from the first hero pack that came out.
Yeah.
Uh, as a hero that can just partner up with anybody from the starter and do what you need them to do. So happy with everything. I'm glad that they referenced Captain America Living Legend on one side and his trademark I can do this all day on the other. So it's got everything it needs.
Yeah, I really like the I can do this all day because it basically lets you fill whatever is needed for your team. He's a great multiplayer hero because if you were a little bit short on thwart for 1 turn, you can still do some damage and get a thwart in. Or if you were a little short on defense and you had to defend, don't worry, you can automatically stand basically.
Yep,
And that's really powerful.
still live.
All right. So the main hook, he can do it all day, and he can do all of it all day, like we just said. He is an awesome all arounder. He has events and abilities that help him in all aspects of the game, whether that's his leadership ability, his ability to gain extra thwarts, to go to the villain's face and stun, or, completely negate attacks. His main hook is that he can do everything. Is that what you
Hmm.
experienced with Cap? He can do everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're not on all the cards here, obviously are super high mileage cards. Fearless determination. The worst case scenario, your deck is functionally smaller. You get to dig deeper into whatever you're looking for, even if you're not thwarting. You get to play it. The limitation being a hero action, not really that big a deal. Um, Heroic Strike is just a big bomb. You drop it, it deals 6, and because of the way that his kit is built, getting that extra cost, that extra physical resource, not. It might as well just say stun the enemy.
Yeah.
And you only need one. And obviously, shield block has been key to pretty much beating every scenario for me. As you know, I've logged the most plays with Cap. There's times where I pull the shield block and I say, "All right, cool. Well, I guess we've won. That's it."
The game is over.
Yeah, yeah. So let's wrap this one up.
Yeah, yeah. Our group plays Cap a little antagonistically because we like to be a little bit competitive in our cooperative games. So
Sure.
there's that song that's like, anything you can do, I can do better, right? We like to play that with Cap. And if the Justice player is second player and I'm first, I'll be like, I'm going to remove all the threat. Your turn. And it's a little mean, but it's also extremely hilarious.
You're
So
just setting an example. That's okay.
yeah, yeah, we're leading from the front.
Yep.
Do you want to go over his key cards? We talked about a few.
Yeah, yeah. So his shield or his key cards are exactly what you'd expect from the cards that were not the ones that we just looked at. He's got his shield that he holds up that protects him, as you might expect. He throws his shield, and he has his trademark Super Soldier Serum, in addition to, like I said, the three that we just talked about. Um, his shield gives him +1 defense and retaliate 1, which is super super useful. It doesn't seem like it at first glance, but it makes the difference. Shield Toss is a versatile card that lets him deal with the board as a whole, or plink in that last four damage if you're trying to push a villain down or a big minion. The Super Soldier Serum is not. I don't want to say it's unique, but being a two of in the deck and not being an alter ego or a hero action resource, being just a general resource, makes it amazing. Not only that, it combos with his heroic strike to make it a little bit more consistent. not to mention a few other cards that we'll talk about later here. So he has like arguably the best resource package in the game.
Yeah, these are the cards that, like we said, let him do everything, whatever he wants. In addition to his ability, he's got, 3 defense with Retaliate. He's got AoE through Shield Toss, damage mitigation, stunning, thwarting and deck cycling, and awesome resource generators. I've actually been building a alter ego only Captain America deck that uses
Okay.
the super soldier serums to just pump out neutral and justice shield allies. So he's creating his own super soldier army. It's pretty fun, but it's
That's good.
insano. All right. So next we go to vanilla cards. These are cards that they're great. Maybe they're good, but they're not like the standout cards of his kit. And it's really hard with Cap to pick cards that belong here instead of on that first slide.
Right.
So I have Steve's apartment on here. I think Steve's apartment is super strong. It's definitely incentive to flip because you get that ally discount and you get to draw a card and heal a damage.
Mm-hmm.
So you can avoid wasting your activations on recover. And I say that lovingly, that is a waste. We've got Agent 13, who is great, right? She is a surge in threat removal. She can thwart for 4 block and then plus the 2 when she comes into play, so 6 thwart and a block. Awesome. Wish she had the spy trait. If she had the spy trait, I'd feel way better. There are so many
Mm-hmm.
times I'm building a deck around the spy trait, and then I draw into her, and I'm just like, oh, wish this was Mockingbird. So that's a little bit of a bummer for me.
Yeah.
And the alter ego ability itself, the reducing the cost, this is a little bit tricky because oftentimes when I flip to Captain America, someone else gets that cost advantage, which is fine if it helps the team, but if I'm building my deck around it, it can hurt a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
also, if someone plays an ally before you when you're in hero form and then you flip down, this doesn't reset. It's just the first ally each turn as long as you were in alter ego. So you can burn this by being in hero form, which Cap likes to do, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. You're dead on with Steve's apartment. There's nothing spectacular about it. You heal one, you draw one, you move on. The best thing about it is, like you said, he does benefit from flipping fairly often for that ally discount. Most deck, making up a number here, 90% of decks have allies in it.
Maybe.
And maybe. And you get that extra momentum by flipping down, getting the discount, playing an ally, drawing a card, healing, starting your next turn, doing it again, and then flipping up to hero and doing your thing. Similarly, Agent 13, she comes in. She's a total of 4 thwart most of the time for me, and then a block. But nothing spectacular, and doesn't particularly synergize with him. But it's cool to be there. I was excited to see that was his signature ally. Um, Although there are certainly other allies that I could think of as his signatures first. So
All right, and we've only got one card on our trap cards, and I would call that Captain America's helmet. I almost put his alter ego ability there. This card it's great, and when it saves your butt, it's gonna feel so good. So basically, when you would be defeated, instead you set your hit points to 1 and then discard this card. Usually, if that happens and you win the next turn, it feels great. If that happens and you don't win the next turn, you spend several turns recovering and you still either end up losing, or you play this and then never use it, which always feels bad, right? You're like, I could have invested that resource into anything else, and it would have worked.
right, it functions as a caught off guard target frequently,
Yeah,
but most often that is my I can do this all day or physical resource that I need in hand. So
yeah, totally true. All right, our hero overview. The weaknesses for Captain America is obviously being too awesome, based on what we've said so far, not being Hawkeye, and more seriously, it's probably stalwart and setup, getting those super soldier serums out at the beginning and still trying to monopolize on your I can do this all day, and trying to, play some events can be really costly to get your setup going. But once it's up and running, you're just crazy.
yeah, yeah, everything that you do is super fast and super bursty. And if you don't want to set up, it is his hero pack, I should say, is capable of just throwing out 7, 8, 9, 10 damage or thwarting without a whole lot of effort. You don't get any setup, but that can deal with some of those early side scheme threats or
Mm-hmm.
early minions for the table, which feels pretty nice.
Yeah, for his strength, I kind of call this the opposite of Black Panther. With Black Panther, we said that he was good at everything, but he couldn't master any of the roles because his kit was so spread out. With Cap, his kit is still very spread out, but since he's such an all-arounder with his ability, he can be great at everything, but he can also master anything. If you want to be the minion, just destroyer, you can do it. And if you want to be the threat handler, no problem. So building Cap appropriately lets him master any role in the game.
Mhm.
All right. Aspect Primer. First, we have aggression. Why don't you go over the aggression cards that work with Cap?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a huge selection of aggression cards here. A lot of cards are from the early parts of the game. Some are like basically brand new. We've got Relentless Assault, hero action, deal 5 damage if you paid using a physical resource, which is, again, something that we're very capable of doing. It gains Overkill, combat training, giving him the +1 attack, which is good because you're always going to have the the option for 2 actions. So he gets double the mileage than your normal hero, minus a few exceptions. Clobber, one of my favorite cards, gets the 3 down, comes back to your hand, and then can power up I can do this all day. That's a really, really good synergy, especially if you're playing your hand out. Living the dream, playing every card in your hand. You get a refund on one of your cards, and you can do your thing with it. Jarnbjorn is a weapon that hangs out, and you can pitch your extra physical resources to deal 2 damage to an enemy and sort of diversify your attacks or really dial into a single target. Some people might look at it and say, well, if I'm pitching a card anyway, shouldn't I be using it to my ability? And that's true. But that just means that you have the option to either use it as a 2 thwart or a 2 damage. And then after that first card that you invest, everyone can be another 2 damage. Especially, we've all had bad hand where you think, like, what am I going to do with this hand? How do I maximize this? This seems pretty unplayable. But with Cap, attacking, pitching to Jarnbjorn, standing up, attacking, pitching to Jarnbjorn again, that feels pretty nice for what you call a bad hand. Hand cannon, also really, really good. He does a ton of attacking, so he gets the extra miles out of the +2 attack and the overkill. Unfortunately, it only works for the single attack, so you can't stand up again and keep doing it. But it's also a physical resource, so that kind of helps that package. You'll notice that most of the cards here are physical resources. Dropkick, the card that I frequently talk about, that is my favorite one to drop on people. We meet the only physical resources very, very easily. We stun the enemy, and we get the extra card. And the extra card can function as the I can do this all day card. It can go to Jarnbjorn. It's just really, really nice. Not every hero can do something with a single card hand. Cap absolutely can. Bug is the arguably the hottest aggression ally. He clears your tough tokens. He does a little bit of whatever you need. And because we attack so much, we're always able to, because we do so many basic attacks, we're always able to heal him and keep him going. So you can give him a spear if you'd like. That's a nice thing I've heard. And Cap's buddy Hulk. That's this is one of my favorite ones to play in a physical focused aggression deck, because you're constantly swinging for 5. I can't do math. That's why I like Hulk. And you can split it up too, so that's really nice. I think my record so far is 8 flips in a row that were the physical symbol.
That's pretty good.
That felt really, really good. So yeah, absolutely Hulk and absolutely physical resources.
I really like the combo you mentioned with Jarnbjorn because it works with serums as well to spend a physical resource. So once you get your 2 serums and Jarnbjorn down, every turn you can attack twice with your I can do this all day and use your serums towards Jarnbjorn. And with only 1 card from your hand, you're dealing 8 damage to start in 4 packages of 2. So you can spread it, you can put it all on the villain, you can do whatever you want with it.
Yep.
All right, well, jumping ahead. Justice.
Oh, whoa.
Why don't you go over the Justice cards and then I'll grab leadership and protection.
Sure. Yeah, that seems good. You'll take all the bad aspects. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'll keep the fun ones.
Wait, hold.
So we've got Concussive Blow. Not a super popular card, but works really well for Cap because it wants to see those physical resources. You get the Confusion, which is nice because he's a hero that flips back and forth. And you get the extra damage because who doesn't like damage? For the same reason that combat training is good, heroic intuition is also very good. A hard +1 to the stat that you're going to be using twice. Great. Foiled I really like. It's not a super popular card, but because Cap has the option to sink leftover cards into I can do this all day, the card isn't dead all the time. I know that it is a little bit situational, but who likes dying to advance? I don't.
No one.
So it's cool to just have it, and And if he doesn't do it, then sure, that's fine. It turns into another 2 thwart later, so that you won't die to the next advance, obviously. One way or another, in solo is really, really good. In everything, it's really, really good. But in solo, you're going to flip down or you slap down a side scheme that you can probably handle with those 2 activations that we've been talking about. Clear the area, similar to dropkick. You're going to do the thing that you want to do, and you're going to draw a card at the end. And not every hero can do something with a single card in their hand, but Cap absolutely can every single time. Quake is good, but Quake also represents a section of Justice that includes all the low-cost allies. Cap especially gets extra miles out of low-cost allies because turn 1, that 2-drop ally costs 1, which is a pretty significant change. You save a whole card, which you can use to activate again or pay for another ally, And lastly, we have Monica Chang and the Chang Gang, the surveillance team. You get it for a discount. You get it for a double discount because you get a surveillance team. But this also represents the shield package as a whole. On his alter ego side, he's got the shield keywords. So you can use him for logistics. You can use him for I just forgot the other one. Well, you can use it for logistics. And that's good. That's exactly what you want. She's comes in, takes the action, and can block for you afterwards. And you've got another source of thwarting.
Yep, totally. Going into leadership, obviously he can run the strength and numbers leadership that everyone runs. Getting Mighty Avengers down is going to make him a 3/3/3 with his shield, which is just bonkers. He has the economy to do Avengers Assembled once he gets his serums down, so he can just go crazy with strength and numbers. That was basically his precon deck, so we should expect it to kind of work well.
Right.
But also, there's like a really fun, pump your stats and stand build that we've been tinkering with for a long time since Morale Boost came out way back in Miss Marvel's pack. But basically, you use leadership cards that pump your hero instead of your allies, so Morale Boost can make him a 3/3/4 for the round. Moxie as well can make him a 3/3/4 just by flipping. We now have R&D facility, which the requirement can be a little tough for Cap to meet, 2 mental resources, but once you get it down there, you get double use out of all these stats with his readying ability. Morale Boost and Moxie in particular, you can get double use and then a third use as a defense, so if there's a turn you know you're going to have to defend and you can double tap that turn, can be really strong with things like Earth's Mightiest Heroes and just random 2-cost Avengers allies that are generally good. And protection. Cap is probably, other than Spider-Man, one of the first wave of heroes that is really good at that defend and take no damage chunk of the protection aspect. So you're going to get to 3 defense with your shield right away. With an Armored Vest, you can get to 4, and that can stop a lot of villain attacks if you defend. But you've got shield blocks to work with Unflappable. You can use things like Never Back Down, so you can stun the villain, use that stun on the first player's activation. You can defend on the second player's activation with Never Back Down, and then block a third attack with another stun. And even Defiance, I really like with Cap. Knowing you have 3 to 4 defense with Armored Vest and Shield, and the villain's base attack is known. So if you can cancel a boost card, you can basically know I'm going to trigger Unflappable or whatever ability it is you want to trigger. So really strong in protection. Obviously, Energy Barrier is there. At least in my opinion, I always put it in this package as like my failsafe. I don't use it on just like random plink damage, but if I ever miss my triggers, Energy Barrier can kind of seal the deal. Any protection comments from the master?
I really, really like Cap in protection for obvious reasons, but Armored Vest and the shield makes just about everything laughable. Being able to reliably stop that much damage is kind of ridiculous. So, and being able to ready, so you can constantly defend. Never Back Down in the entire package that says plus X defense, and then if you take no damage, do this cool thing.
Yeah.
Are all really, really good for him. Desperate Defense is really, really good, obviously, because his defense goes through the roof. You're not taking any damage, and then you just stand back up and you go back to whatever you're doing. Not to mention his discount working on some of the kind of pricey protection allies really changes them into a whole nother caliber. So he's super cool in protection. If you've been waiting to play a protection character or you don't know which one to build, I recommend starting with Cap.
Awesome. All right, and basic cards. So we've got Dum Dum Dugan, who came out in the Sinister Motives expansion. So you can even use yourself as a shield card to not waste Cap's activation if you have to dip down. Sky Destroyer as well is going to work with Agent 13 and all the shield cards you're probably including. And then I put Adrenaline Rush and Civic Duty in here, mainly in the leadership build. If you're trying to get 3 uses out of your stats using Earth's Mightiest Heroes, it doesn't hurt to pump your attack by 1 more and just end the game that turn, or defeat multiple villains or minions and the villain can work out well.
Yeah, I agree. Just like we said before, heroic intuition, combat training, same exact concept. It's just this one doesn't stick around for a very long time. Sky Destroyer and Dum Dum Dugan are pretty much auto include into the Justice shield build, just because you're getting the discount, you're playing a lot of shield, you may as well take the extra damage. What's better than doing 2 twice, doing 2 4 times?
Yeah.
So, or 3 times. So
more is better with Cap.
More is better. It's all 2s all the way down.
All right, theme. I don't know anything about this guy. I haven't even seen his movies. So why don't you tell me about Captain America for 60 seconds?
Yeah. So start the clock. Bang. So the kit here is any era of Captain America that is your favorite is represented here. He throws his shield, he punches people in the face and knocks them out. He uses his problem solving. He brings in his best friends, and also he has a fun apartment. A lot of the stuff that you see in modern Captain America is drawn from Volume 5, which is the Brubaker run. I've beamed about it a million times, and it's all here. But the most important thing is that no matter what you like about Cap in the comics, it's there. If you want to be the problem-solving strategist, you play him in Justice, you do your thing. You play him in Leadership, you do your thing. If you want to just be rough and tumble, closing the door on World War II, Captain America, you can do that and just pour damage out and yell at your teammates to do whatever else they need to do while you're busy socking people in the jaw. And protection, if he's the bastion of protection then that's what you play him as, and you have a great time because he's really, really good at it. As we said in the beginning, he is great at everything, and that's something that the character is. He's just good at everything. That's what they made him to do. And they got it. They nailed it. So super excited about this. Was that a minute?
It was perfect. You left off
Excellent.
a very important fact, though.
Oh, no.
In Captain America's pre-constructed deck, you get a copy of Hawkeye. So that's probably the most important thing you were supposed to mention.
I didn't mention that. Yeah, I didn't mention that. They have a really, really cool background together. So when you play him on the table the first time, make sure that you bully the ally. And you say, if you don't have the bow, I don't want you on the team unless you know how to do other stuff. Tell him that.
Classic Cap. He's a nice
Classic guy.
Cap. All right, we're to that fun, exciting time where I use my super highly technical archery scale. And since we have a special guest who loves Captain America, I thought for each of these you can guess what I'm going to judge it as. So the white ring is a 1, the black ring is a 2, the blue is a 3, the red's a 4, and the yellow's a 5. So where do you think I put Cap under power level?
Power level is 5.
Were you right? I don't know. I pressed the button, but it didn't move. So.
Oh, okay.
It was a 5.
It's a 5.
Congratulations. Yeah, I think Cap is super strong. And I think he's the right kind of strong. He's not Doctor Strange Miles strong, where he trivializes the game. You can definitely still lose games with Captain America, especially an expert, but he's strong enough that he makes the game super fun, which maybe is a spoiler. I don't know. All right. Decision making. Does Cap provide fun and entertaining decision making?
I would say that is also 5.
That is also 5. I think his ability, I can do this all day, means you get to make extra decisions each turn. And anytime you get to make that extra decision and try to have to optimize your turn, should I thwart and then attack? Can I defend and then still be able to get my job done? Gives you this like cognitive reward for playing well, which I think is what we're looking for.
True.
Aspect viability.
Well, I have to base this on his bad aspect, which is none of them. So I'm going to say 5 again.
You are correct.
Yes.
I think Cap has a fun build in every aspect. I think in Justice, Aggression, and Leadership, he probably has 2 pretty viable fun builds. In each of those, you can do the Overkill route with Hand Cannon, or you can do the Yarn route. You could probably even do a Minion Seeking and Shield Tossing route with Cap.
You definitely can.
In Leadership, you obviously have Strength in Numbers, and then you have the Pump Your Stats build. And in Justice, I think you can go full in on Shield, or you can go into leaning into Cap's like basic stats and using all those ready cards that came in Nebula and stuff like that. So super good on aspect viability. Thematics, where do you think I have Cap in thematics?
Thematics has to also be a 5 because he can literally do everything and make you feel good about
I
yourself.
swear, we
Yep.
did not look at. I stopped when we looked at these slides ahead of time, so he didn't see these. But I have thematics as a 5, mainly because I feel like they really capture that all-arounder, like fill whatever hole the team needs while still leading the team ability of Captain America.
It really captures it.
It really captures it. The only thematic losses for me are the apartment, and like you said, I would have loved a million different allies being in there. If they ever had
Mm-hmm.
a hero that had 2 allies, I think Cap would have been an awesome hero to be that hero. But I think they still nailed
Yeah,
thematics compared to most of the heroes in the core set. Kind of just had to like show different things you could do. But with Cap, they really leaned into, hey, this is how I designed Cap to match the comic counterpart, and it comes across really well.
mm-hmm.
And then fun factor. What do you think I did for fun
I'm gonna
factor?
I'm gonna go conservative here and say that you gave it a 4 because he's so strong that maybe sometimes it feels like your decisions aren't as fun.
Well, I did, and that's the exact reason I did it. Is sometimes Cap can trivialize a game, especially if I'm playing with some newer players and we're on standard. I tend to try to avoid Cap because he can suck the fun away from other players. He's still super fun to play, and it's great to feel like I can do everything, but I feel like the real Captain America would want everyone to feel like they're participating in a good way. So I put him at
That's
a
true.
4, and I
That's
struggled
true.
there. But that's still our highest rated hero overall so far, looking at the core set and Cap. So pretty good.
It's also 5 for 5 for the guesses, and I think that's pretty impressive
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
first
this is.
guest episode.
I'm going to expect this every time now. All right, so sound off in the comments below. Let us know what your favorite Captain America deck is, and Addercop or I will probably play it and try it out.
I will absolutely play it. If you send me a cap deck, I will play it.
I'm going to send him one that has just trash in it and no allies, since only 90%
Gonna have a great time.
of decks
Gonna have a great
contain
time.
allies.
That's fine. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. I don't care.
What aspect do you think Cap works best with, and what new cards that we've seen spoiled recently for Spider Ham or Spider or Nova and Ironheart are you most excited to play with Steve? So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna keep
Cool.
doing these hero reviews. Sorry we took a week-long break, but we're gonna be back at them with Addercop and other special guests coming in.
Sweet.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys later.
See ya.